What is your vision for the Energy and Environment Cabinet?
Well, I believe that what we will do with the cabinet is try to strike a balance. You know, we're charged with being an environmental regulator, so one of our duties is to enforce the law. And, you know, we intend to do that, but at the same time as enforcing the law, we try to help the businesses and industries in the state comply with environmental laws. And then finally, even beyond the law, we try to keep people healthy and safe. That's our charge. The way we go about doing our business every day is try to keep people healthy and safe.
As you know, in the co-op world, the Clean Power Plan is issue number one and two, really, in terms of what's happening here. Because of the stay, how does that affect things, and overall, how do you see us going forward?
I think first of all, the stay gives us some hope that there's we believe we have a legitimate claim that the Clean Power Plan is not legal, and we think the Supreme Court understands that, and so we continue to have a positive approach to that. That it's ultimately it's going to be something we don't have to do. I do think that if you look at the other environmental rules, mercury and air toxics, cross-state air pollution rule, that the other environmental rules are leading us in a direction where we're reducing our carbon emissions without the Clean Power Plan. I think to a large extent we're going to be able to meet carbon reduction without doing anything drastic. So, I take a free markets approach to it. I think we should do what's in the best interests of our businesses and industries and citizens of the state. We are a significant consumer of electricity. Half of our electricity is consumed in manufacturing, and manufacturing is what creates our jobs, and our jobs are important to us, and that's the kind of approach we take to it.
One follow-up on Clean Power Plan, that is the state implementation plan, and so my understanding is correct. What is the cabinet doing or not doing right now with that, and will that resume if the stay is lifted? How does that work?
Well, if the stay is lifted, we're under an obligation to have a state implementation plan. Our choices are in that regard to either have a state plan or let the federal government have a plan, and we're not going to do that. We'll have our own plan. If the stay is not lifted, we're not doing anything right now. We're business as usual, but we're not going ahead and trying to implement the Clean Power Plan as long as it's not required.
Last thing for you, Secretary, and I heard you speak inside to our board members. So often we get into some of this legal stuff and we forget some of just the mission of what we do and what you do. Energy efficiency seems to be a passion of yours.
Well, I've looked at all the different options that if you look at the ways that we can reduce carbon dioxide emissions, we can implement renewable energy. It costs more than the energy we currently produce. So there's a downside to that. It has an effect on jobs. It has an effect on people's pocketbooks. We can implement carbon capture and storage, which is not technically feasible at the moment, and so that's another. I think it's going to be a huge cost and a disadvantage to as an option for reducing CO2. But the one way that we can do it that's cost effective and helps people is to reduce our waste of energy. So that's the most important factor in all of this that I see, is that we should not use electricity that we don't need to use.